Yeah, very fast. I mean, a lot of speed on the field. They get the sideline to sideline really well. Obviously, Fred Warner, best in the league. One of the best in the league. Super smart guy. We're gonna have to prepare for him, and obviously Bosa on the edge. We got to have a game plan for him. So, we got to put in a good plan this week. We had a great day today, starting out, this Wednesday, and got to keep building, day by day up to the game.
Do you find what they do to be a vast departure from what you just saw from Arizona, or is there some overlap? I mean, obviously there's always some overlap, but are there a lot of big differences in terms of what they do?
Yeah, different system. We're going to see different things. Obviously, Arizona does a lot in their back end with disguises and stuff, but you got to be ready for whatever you're going to get. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, but we got good tape from game one, and just got to prepare for whatever. But we got a good plan.
It looks like Mac Jones is going to quarterback for San Francisco. Have you run into him over the years? What do you know about Mac Jones? Like, you guys have a relationship at all?
No, I've never met him. I know Brock pretty well. Obviously, played him a few times in college. But never ran into Mac before. But he's a good player, and we got to prepare for him.
Kellen said that you guys had officials at practice today, and that's been really beneficial to help with the penalties issue from week one. I mean, how was that experience for you, and what were some of your main takeaways from that?
Yeah, we were much more locked in today. I think seeing what happened in the game kind of woke us all up to, hey, we really need to take this serious. Pre-snap, post-snap, all this stuff, alignment, assignment, details. I think having the refs out there helps, but it's on us to lock it in and be like that every single play.
I think you called it a shell fest after the game, just describing that defense you guys saw in week one. Just considering who you have on your roster, you anticipate seeing a lot of that this year.
Every system's different defensively. They're going to do what they're best at. I think Arizona had a game plan. They wanted to take away the deep stuff. We had a few opportunities, but couldn't connect. But yeah, I mean, they did play with a lot of depth, and they're known to do that. And thought we played a game where we had to take it underneath and find their soft spots in zone, and thought we did a good job with that. Obviously, want to add a few more explosive plays in there if we can, and continue to run the ball and just take what they give us.
Is it maybe too general of a question, but can you hunt those explosives if it's not just the straight vertical or post or whatever y'all did a bunch of last year? Yak opportunities, I guess, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you want to take what the defense gives you. I mean, that's rule number one. You don't want to force anything. You can't win if you turn the ball over, so we got to protect the ball, move the chains. Thought we did that. Thought we need to be better, on third and long, and then in the red zone. Obviously, we got down there a lot. Just got to finish. But yeah, I mean, take what they give you, and when the shot's there, hit it, and pretty, straightforward.
On the interception that got called back because of the penalty, it looked like maybe Shaheed was going to the corner and the ball went to the foot. I'm just curious, is that kind of a on the same page, not on the same page kind of situation? And as you go back and look at it, what did you think of the throw decision in general?
Yeah, I mean, a little miscommunication. Ideally, I'd want that ball out further wide. But, game one, scratch it, move on to the next. Luckily we didn't have that play happen. We got a flag. And on to the next play. I think we scored that drive, finished it out.
When you reviewed that game, what did stand out to you as something you wanted to do better or something?
Something I want to do better from the game? Yeah. I think just third downs, continuing to extend with my legs. Thought there was a couple opportunities. We took one sack, and that was on me. Probably could have got down to AK with how much depth they got on 3rd and 8. And then just thought situationally we were good. Obviously want to give us a shot on that last play of the game, extend a little bit on that one, and just continuing to work on accuracy. Thought decision-making was good. We protected the ball. Just execute the offense.
Was there anything Arizona's defense did or your own game plan that Alvin only had 2 targets in the game? That's kind of a low number with the amount of passing thought.
Yeah. The game goes in so many different ways. You never know what's going to happen. I think that's just how it was that game. Obviously you want to get him more involved, but if it's run or pass, but we just try to, execute what's called and make the best of it. But obviously, a guy you want to get involved, and I'm sure we'll scheme up some stuff for him,
On the flip side, Chris had, I think, 13 targets in the game. I mean, I know he's always been looking to get involved in other ways, open space, yards after catch opportunities. What did you like about how he's fitting in this offense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think he's done a great job. He made some competitive catches in that game. Obviously the one towards the end, I thought that was a catch, and that was a big time catch for us. He made some tight catches that, he was being strong through contact, and that's huge. We need that, and he feels the zones very well. I think he's got a great feel for the game, and obviously he's a good route runner. Want to go at him more and more. Same with Sheed. So just trying to distribute it around. I can't circle one guy and just throw to him all game, but whoever's open will get the ball.
You mentioned Fred Warner. How challenging is that when you go against a player that can, diagnose a play like that, get the defense in the right spot, and for you to, recognize that, get your team, get your offense in the right spot? How much, I guess, a mental tax is that for you in trying to prepare?
Yeah, obviously, my first time going up against him, play like that. I know we played him preseason last year, but obviously going to be different here. I think just executing what's called. I think Kellen has a great plan for us. We had a great day today. Whatever my job is, be best at my job, and hope the 10 other guys will do the same. And I know they will. So we got to be dialed in on our job, and the rest will take care of itself.
Feels like in the past when we've seen offenses, just speaking of here, it's been a lot of rotation of skill position players. It didn't so much feel like the case week one. What's the benefit to that for you?
I think just the chemistry of the guys, you know what you're going to get, who's in there. But again, I think we have guys that can come in and make big splash plays. I mean, I wouldn't look too far into week one. I think we got guys that can come off, the bench and make big plays and help us. So we're going to have to rely on everybody. How the season goes, and it's week to week, but got trust, got faith in all these guys.
One of those guys, Devon Bailey, Kellen kind of explained how his role would kind of grow because of how late he joined. Just what have you seen from him so far?
Yeah, super smart guys, picked up everything, super reliable. Obviously, big body. He had a great catch in the game on the sideline on a scramble, and we had an opportunity on the back line towards the end. Linebacker made a good play, but he's a guy. Obviously, big frame, mismatch situations. You can get him lined up on guys. And he is very, very detailed, very smart, I would say, and has good hands.
The first and goal you're talking about on the back line.
Yep.
Yeah, when he's one-on-one, is it kind of like, okay, he's open? Is he kind of one of those players?
I'm going through my read, but was hunting him on that play. But going through my read, if he's there, I'll get it to him. If not, we'll progress.
You guys had a lot of quick pass attempts in this last game. What's kind of the key to operating that effectively? I think you were 18 and 24 on under 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to give access, we'll take it. If we can steal 6-7 yards at a time, that's just like an extension of the run game. So we want to continue to do that. But I mean, again, taking what they give us. If they want to take away the back end, we're going to have to beat them underneath, and kind of, a lot of these teams want you to play patient, and that's what we had to do at times. But like we said earlier, we want to hunt explosive plays, get more explosive plays on the ground and in the air. So that's on us to get that done.
How do you feel about your connection so far with Juwan Johnson? And I know that you probably took some heat from some fans who, don't know what it's like to hold on to a ball while getting hit by a car. But he was the most productive receiver on that game. Do you see a lot of potential there? What's he doing well that you like that makes you want to find him?
Yeah, I thought me and Juwan had a great connection going back to last year. I mean, he was one of our top guys, and it's going to be the same thing this year. He's a guy. Very physical, very smart. He's like a receiver, but a tight end at the same time. So, he could do a lot. But he'll make big time plays for us all year, and we got trust in him, and we're gonna keep getting him the ball.
The average last year, I think it was 24 routes run per game. And he ran, I think it was 44 in this game. Was that the expectation going in, or was that a game situation?
I mean, that's just how the game flow went. If he has to run 60 plays, he will. That's the type of guy he is. He's going to show up, put his best foot forward, and make plays for us.
What was your impression of that last opportunity you had when you got a chance to really see it during review?
The last play?
The second to last play of the game, the last one to him.
Yeah, I mean, tough catch. It's a tough catch. You got to go up on 3 guys and bring it down, and Buddha hits you, and the safety tries to punch at it. I can't be mad at that. He put everything on the line, and I gave him a chance, and we'll make it the next time. Thank you.
Injury report, just to the names, just so you have them now. It'll come out. DMPs were Julian Blackman with the shoulder, Tolley with the knee, Trevor Penny with the toe, Chase Young with the calf. Limited were Valus, Jones with the knee, Zach Wood with the elbow, and then Jordan Howden still had the oblique, but he was full. He practiced the whole practice. So other than that, really good practice. Our guys were back at it. Pads today inside. Thought they brought some really good energy, and been a great week so far.
How would you describe where Chase Young is right now?
Yeah, just getting better each day. I think that's just the timeline of this thing. We'll take this thing one day at a time, and those are calves, muscles, those sorts of things. You just got to navigate it.
What is Fadil Diggs got back? It looked like he was out there.
Yes, he was back on practice squad today. I think it was Deckers. Yeah.
The 49ers might not have Brock Purdy. Kyle Shanahan said he was a long shot to play. How does that change what you guys do? Your initial thoughts on Mac Jones?
Yeah, obviously, Brock's a phenomenal quarterback in this league, and I think obviously when he's rolling, they're really hard to defend, and so I think structurally, I think they'll still have a lot of advantages, a lot of opportunities within that system, and certainly, Christian in the backfield is going to have a huge impact on this game, and so we'll just have to see how this thing progresses with those guys, but understand, I think their capacity and the different things they can do is still not going to be limited.
Hallmarks of a Sailor defense, and what do they do well?
Yeah, I think they do a really good job of playing together. It's a really fast, physical. It's a play style. Most teams in our league really aspire to have the play style that Robert's always created on the defensive side. And so, their front, with Chris Kassir kind of leading the charge there for all these years, he does a phenomenal job with just the finish, the effort. They play the quarterback, the rush plans really, really well. They do a good job of kind of putting you behind the sticks, playing really physical on first and second down, and then third downs. It's really about time clock football. And obviously their rush plans are really special, and they play really aggressive on the back end and some man to man, and then they mix in the zones as change ups and force the quarterback to think.
What would you say are Mac Jones's strengths?
Yeah, I think just his ability to process. He makes really good decisions. You go back to, certainly when you're evaluating him coming out of Alabama, his ability to just handle a volume of an offense, make really good decisions. He throws a really accurate ball. He's got tremendous timing. I think he's a really good quarterback in this league. And sometimes, some of these guys go to a couple different teams just, as their careers go. And he's still had plenty of success in this league. He's been, his rookie year, he's a Pro Bowler. And so, he'll be a really talented quarterback out there still, no matter what the circumstances.
With Brock being considered a long shot to play, how does that impact preparation? Do you have to prepare for both guys? Does it make things overly complicated?
Well, I think you got to prepare for the system. I think you got to prepare, systematically. I don't think they have so much volume and versatility in their packages that they're still going to be able to do a lot of different things. And so, you got to prepare for all of that. And so as the week progresses, obviously there's sometimes a couple items here and there based off the quarterback, but they got a lot of tools in their disposal.
San Francisco played the most, or utilized, the most two running back offensive plays in the first week. Just from your perspective as an offensive guy, what kind of challenges does that present to defense?
Yeah, it's the same thing like last week when we were talking about Arizona and their ability to, play multiple sets with the tight ends. I think when they have two running backs and Christian, and Kyle certainly, their ability to line up in all the different pieces. And so just because you're in, what's listed as 21 personnel by no means means the standard menu of 21 personnel formations. They can play in all the different sets and structures. And so it puts a lot of stress on your ability to handle all those different things within just a simple play call on the defensive side because there's all those potentials.
When y'all were approaching Justin Reed in free agency, how important was his ability to think when you're just envisioning putting him in this defense? And
yeah, Justin, just competing against him all these years, and certainly in Kansas City, he was really so much of the glue on the back end of Kansas City's defense, and his ability to play tough downs, multiple downs. He can play all the different positions. His versatility was key, and his communication, you certainly recognize that really quickly when he got here. Certainly we anticipated that, but his ability to get everyone on the same page, communicate at a really high level. He's one of our big-time leaders in this organization. He's a really special person, so we feel fortunate to have him.
Interviewed Staley. What did he tell you about his year with the 49ers? How do you think that helped him?
Yeah, I think I'll reserve. You guys can ask Brandon probably on Thursday, and that'll be the more accurate experience. But I just remember, having a lot of conversations. Even this past year, I was in Philly, Brandon was in San Francisco, but we just have plenty of conversations here and there, talking about football, talking about the league, and I think anytime your lens kind of goes to a different perspective, it's always good reflection, both on the past but also on the future. And so I think what Brandon was able to experience there was really beneficial for him moving forward. And so he's just done an awesome job for us.
Zach stuff entered after the game. How hard of a decision is that to try to replace the
Yeah, there's always these guys working on the side in the emergency situation, and so just something that popped up, and so he was just limited a little bit, and so we'll see how it goes.
You talked about the penalties on Monday. What have y'all been doing in practice this week to kind of, help fix that and what's going into that process?
Obviously, there's an emphasis. We got to have an action plan associated with it, and so we certainly talked a lot about it. We had officials out at practice today. We'll have them out tomorrow just to help us with the communication aspect there. And I thought that was really good, really valuable for our guys to get a lot of eyes on it and not miss any little detail that may come up. And so I thought that was beneficial for our guys.
Officials, or is that in response to the penalty?
We hadn't had them just because it's usually guys who are officiating college at this point, and so their schedules are a little bit challenging. Fortunately, we were able to get it organized for today and tomorrow.
Did that surprise you when you look back at it now, a little time to think about it? Did all the penalties, when you look at it, was that surprising to you Sunday?
It's not something we anticipate. And the big thing is so many of them are within our control. There's judgmental penalties we can all debate, never ending. But the clear and defined, yes, no ones at the pre-snap in particular, those just can't happen. And so that's the main part we got to eliminate.
So difficult. I'm sure coach has a plan for them in the game.
Yeah, versatility obviously jumps out. He can do everything in the offense that they would ask. I mean, route tree is just like a receiver running game. I think in his running game, you just see the patience and the sudden burst, which is really special. I think, he has so many teach tape examples of how he runs the runs and kind of, baits defense linemen or linebackers and sets up blocks at a really high level. And so you see that. And then in the pass game, now he's catching the ball and playing out in space, and you have to make these open field tackles on him, which are really difficult.
Kellen, you had a chance to talk to Blake about his kid. He said, like, the operation's kind of rushed because it was like an argument about the play. He kind of was thinking maybe in hindsight he wish he would take that play again. Are you okay, like, the kicker making the call in the moment like that?
Yeah, we've talked through all these different scenarios there. I think, just us communicating, it was the one that Shahid had the ball in the end zone. And so kind of put us in a little spot where there was just a little bit of negotiation there. And so talking through those situations. And so, certainly something we've talked about.
Is the play caller, is Fred Warner one of those guys that kind of like got out playing specifically for him? Like, does he bring anything special pre-snap as far as like trying to, call stuff out? Or
Yeah, I think there's A, just phenomenal player. B, play recognition shows up all over the film. His ability to diagnose and anticipate what's coming. And then the third part to me that jumps out is his ability to attack the football. Obviously, I think he's one of the highest forced fumble guys in our league. He attacks the football like no other. The rest of their team tries to replicate it, but he's ultimately leading the charge. And then his ability to play downfield and create some interception opportunities and play in space. He's had, when I was in Dallas, we've competed against him a number of times, and it just felt like his ability to run with tight ends and even receivers down the middle of the field is just really special.
Mr. Elber, just doing his team kind of in position to.
Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah, he's doing well. He's done a nice job, and so, feel good with where he's at.
Would you say the main factor in this particular game was for Allen only having 2 targets and with
Yeah, I think we got into a little bit of a obvious pass situations too many times, and then got into a little bit of 6-man protection, a little bit just with the different front variations, and so something certainly we want more opportunities for Alvin, and so that was definitely a reflection noted coming out of the game.
Aside from the penalties, what other areas are most important for y'all to show growth from the first game?
It's just going to come down to situational football. The third downs. Offensively, we got to be in more manageable ones. Defensively, when we are in an advantageous spot, we got to knock them down. And so, we did have a few missed ops there. And then the, defense had a backed up situation. We missed that op. That was really correlated to a third down. And then really the red zone on offense, we just got to, get there and then finish it out with touchdowns.
Do you anticipate Burgess coming up to be active with Julian, or is that?
He's got a chance. He's got a chance. We got a couple DBs. Obviously, there's a roster spot there that we'll have to make a decision on and bring someone up, and so we'll see how it all plays out.
Injury happens, did you give Tyron a call?
We have not, but yeah.
Kind of a replacement do you have baked in, or do you have kind of conversations throughout the week of, oh, is this the best option? Like, how does that process?
With who to bring up? Yeah. I mean, Jonas is going to do an awesome job. I mean, Jonas is prepared, ready. He's done a phenomenal job this whole entire training camp, preseason games. There's other guys that'll rotate in there as well. We're not going to put all the weight on him, but we feel like we're in a really good position. We felt like we were fortunate to have a little bit of depth in that back end, certainly at the safety position going into this thing. And you never want these circumstances to present themselves, but they do inevitably. And so we'll see how all this stuff transpires.
I know you obviously have done a lot of winning in your career as a player and a coach, so you're not really into moral victories. But is it somewhat encouraging knowing that you guys were just a few yards away from forcing overtime? So maybe, okay, if we just clean up the penalties a little bit next week, we're right there to getting a chance to.
At this point, you're really we got to get the process right. We got to play the right way, execute the right way, focus on those things. Ultimately, these things come down to wins and losses. That's really ultimately all that matters. And so, we got to find a way to close the margins, close the gaps, and give ourselves cleaner opportunities to be successful.
One thing about Jonas that stands out to you that you really like, the aggression or whatever, is there one thing about him that you'd say, this is what I like about him?
Yeah, certainly his physicality that he plays with, but I think he plays it in a manner that is still sound. He's not reckless. I thought he had a ton of examples through preseason football where, he became he showed up in the team meetings every week because of these, big physical aggressive plays, whether it be a tackle or certainly the turnovers that he created and all those different things, but he's doing it in a very patient, sound way. And so, he's just got to stay there.
He had the injury coming out of camp. Is it the same issue, or is this a different?
Yeah, he's just got a little knee thing that comes up, from time to time, and we'll just have to see how the rest of the week plays out.
You said yesterday all indications were that Julian's injury was season-ending. Does he have to have surgery? Has that been?
Yeah, he'll have surgery. Yeah, he'll have surgery this week. Good. All right. Thanks, guys.